Thank you. So flashing and streaking, the same thing, Clayton? Been asked to flash, man, I'm excited about this. I can't get it off my mind. So my main purpose as your child's teacher is to make sure that you learn the Tennessee State academic standards. I will provide whatever extra time and extra help your child needs in order to learn the Tennessee State academic standards. That is our main purpose. That is it. It's not changing. That is it. My main purpose as your child's teacher is to make sure that he or she learns the Tennessee State academic standards, no matter what grade level it is, no matter what subject it is. I will provide whatever extra time and extra help your child needs in order to learn the Tennessee State academic standards. I have asked this question to thousands of students. What do we call those? Now, I'm from Nashville, so I'm going to twang as much as I can. What do we call these things that we're supposed to learn and they don't know that? Isn't that a starting point? Isn't that a starting point? Oh, we call those the standards, Mr. Hill. I had 5-year-olds and I had 14-year-olds in my K-8 school, 850 of them, that we decided one year that we were just going to take one baby step with our language, and that was we're going to be able to ask this question to our students. 5-year-olds, what do we call those things you're supposed to learn in school? And they say, the standards, Mr. Hill. Where do they come from? From the state of Tennessee. That's a starting point. If this is our main purpose, do we not need to? Yes, absolutely we do. We do. Now, that's just part of Cleanse 2. Grade Cleanse is written because the grading monster is just swallowing a lot of us up. We know the 0 to 100 was developed by the Three Stooges. It's laughable, but we know that it's status quo. We know it's status quo. So we're going to standards-based grading. Everybody blows up. So Grade Cleanse is a move at your own pace, take baby steps, cleanse your grades just a little bit, just like cutting back on your sugar when you eat, or walking a half a mile getting started. Once you get started, then you feel better and you have an intrinsic decision. You have an intrinsic desire to keep moving. Okay, I will tell you that in my example of, because I teach ICU. ICU is not an add-on. It is the build. And my example is this. Have you ever gone into a grocery store and you decide I'm not getting a cart, and you end up coming to the checkout line and you're like this, correct? Am I right? Well, that's teachers today. And if they think ICU or changing your language is an add-on, then they will explode. ICU is the cart. And we say, don't put junk food in our cart. This is about, my main purpose is, as your child's teachers, make sure they learn the Tennessee State academic standards. That's your cart, okay? So all we're going to do is go down that aisle right now called language. That's it. That's the only thing we have time for. This is one of my schools, York Middle School, and they put this up in their hall, and they said, let's stop saying, because they want to try to stop saying some of the status quo stuff, stop saying work and homework. Why? Our students are not our employees. As soon as you start paying them at least minimum wage, you can say do your work. But do your work is part of the status quo. It has nothing to do with a learning culture, and it needs to be buffered at least. So what do we replace that with? This is practice and extra practice. Practice and extra practice. Not do your work, learn the standards. This is not work and homework. This is practice and extra practice. We're not here to do our work. We're here to learn the standards. So you start to slowly weave this in, okay? Failing and F's is changed to lack of evidence. Incomplete is not as good as lack of evidence. Incomplete still refers to work. You're here to work. You're not here to work. You're here to learn. Learning, by the way, is exciting, okay? And bring up your grades. You're here to bring up your grades. You know you need to bring up your grades. You need to do your work, bring up your grades. I said that 4 million times to my kids, and that is inappropriate language, so we need to buffer that, and we need to embrace that, and we need to try to weave in what's the truth. Show me the learning. Show me the learning. So practice, extra practice, lack of evidence, learn the standards, and show me the learning. They have included their students at York Middle School, and they've said, when we say these things on the left, you need to help us to change them to things on the right. You know how long this is going to take? Years. Because the status quo has this grip on us that is so powerful. We think we're there to teach responsibility. We've got to teach responsibility. It's a monster. Respect the status quo. 70% of change efforts fail because the status quo is so powerful. Respect it, but don't accept it. There is a difference. I'm done.
All right, we have 3 minutes for questions.
Okay, so you've said in 2 different sessions ICU, and I don't know what ICU stands for or where to get
Intensive
it.
care unit. It started in my school.
And it's a education-based intensive care unit, because I know that ICU stands for intensive care unit, but where do you get it? Where do you find it? It must be some kind of a program, but I don't know where to look for it.
You know, I'm deaf. I mean, I'm really deaf, so I couldn't.
Do you want me to use my teacher voice?
Yes, please, blow me out.
All right, so I don't know what ICU is for teachers and where you find that information,
Where do you find an explanation? Okay.
or
is that-
any information about the ICU.
Okay. I brought practitioners with me so they can tell you what it is, because as soon as I retired, and the only reason I retired was because people were visiting my school, and I didn't want them to, but they were visiting my school because from 2004 till 2011, we got every assignment from my 850 kids, 45% free and reduced, high transient population, because we changed our approach. We decided we're not going to let them off the hook anymore. But we stopped the treats and threats, and we just started this new, hey, we're going to keep a list, and you're going to do those assignments on your time. We took the pressure off the home, and it was unbelievable, and so I wrote a book on it in 2009 called Power of ICU. Now, ICU was developed in the halls of my school, Southside Elementary, K through 8 in Lebanon, Tennessee, and it was what we call the list. We decided, hey, if we're going to hold them accountable, then how do they know what they owe us? How do we know what they owe us? There's only one way to hold them accountable. You have to have a list. So we developed a list with an Excel spreadsheet. It is blown into what you can see at our booth, which is a phenomenal teacher-friendly list, which sends out, they didn't have their math today, sends out a text to mom. It doesn't threaten, and it sends out 2 emails, and it says, so he didn't have his math today. And then we build in this infrastructure, tons of infrastructure, and every adult in the building embraces every student, and everybody has each other's back. Your coaches have your back. Your secretary in an ICU school will say, come here a minute, Danny. What's up? You don't have this assignment. You need any help with that? Do you need any help with that? Do you need any help with that? And we build in layers of support, layers of extra time and extra help. I learned all this at SREB conferences in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we built a how-to. It's how-to. And we had 150 schools this year that completed every assignment in 38 different states. But the status quo, you have to find a sense of urgency and go, we're going to address this. And once you get every assignment, then you can work on what you're giving them. Why are we working so hard to get these assignments? They're not worth getting. And then we can improve the health of the grade. Completion plus what are we giving them, plus healthier grading, that is our basket in the store. And nothing goes in that cart except healthy things. ICU, intensive care unit. Your grade is sick, you're not. We love you. You're fantastic, but your grade is sick. That's where it came from. We just dreamed it up in the halls. Teachers have answers. Teachers are brilliant.